Hello and welcome to the Super Late Show, hosted by yours truly. Now tonight I'm going to be talking about the causes of World War I and II, and some inventions that came from them and where they are today. Let's get started. While some people say Germany is to blame for the start of both wars, that's not quite true. Let me tell you what I found after doing some research. So, Austria had an archduke named Franz Ferdinand, and he was assassinated June 24th, 1914. Now, all wars start when peace between two countries goes away. And after the assassination of his nephew, Franz Joseph I thought, well, that he should maybe do something, even though he wasn't particularly fond of his, well, now dearly departed nephew. Then, on July 23rd, Austria gave Serbia an ultimatum, one that was so absurd they knew Serbia would reject it and declare war. But the war took a month to start. What happened was, you see, Serbia was really good friends with Russia over here, and Austria didn't like that, so they talked to their friends, Germany. And Germany gave Austria what they call a blank check. Now, that's just Germany saying, no matter what happens, man, I got your back. And so Austria was like, sweet, and went and started a war because they thought that's exactly what Germany wanted, even though that is very much not what they wanted. Okay, can we chill on the jump cuts? Because that's getting out of hand. Okay? Okay. So, they went to war, and everybody got dragged into it. All the allies of Serbia, which is Russia and other people, and all the allies of Austria, which is Germany and other people. And that just kind of got really bad. And in the end, Germany had to pay for it all. Literally, they had to pay for it all. And guess how much it cost? $33 billion, which is insane to ask any country to repay. Man. Austria is a terrible friend. It's like if you and your friend do something illegal, but you're the only one who gets arrested for it, even though it was your friend's idea in the first place. Like, come on, Austria. Have a backbone. I don't know. I have a problem with them. So, I'd like to apologize about that comment I made about Austria. That wasn't my place to judge. I'm sorry. Anyways, let's get back to it. So, Germany's great idea about going around and paying back this debt was to print more money, and if you don't know what inflation is, this isn't going to make sense to you, but that's kind of what happened. Inflation happened, and money got so worthless that you could have a wheelbarrow full of money, and I believe it's the francs, and you couldn't even buy bread. Like, it was insane. So Germany's in financial ruin, until some guy who was kicked out of art school and what was it? He published a book, and he was like a really good public speaker or something like that. Anyways, this guy, what was his name? It was like Hit something? I don't know. Point is, he convinced Germany to be like, oh, you know what, this debt, forget about it. And they went to war. Again. Which, can you blame them, though? That was a lot of money. It was like an impossible amount to pay back. Whoa. Oh, Mr. Reyes, I have a question. Yes, John Green, Crash Course, knockoff me. Didn't you say you were gonna cover inventions that happened during both wars? You are absolutely right, and I was just about to get to that. So let's talk about World War I first. There was lots of stuff from that. So, there were things like tanks, flamethrowers, tracer bullets, U-boats. Did I say warplanes already? Anyways, that's just a few examples. Now, tanks, they were invented to get around trench warfare, and at first they weren't very great or reliable, and they kind of sucked, but then over time they got better, and they developed, and they were great. They became a battleground standard. Over the years, they got even better, and they developed differently in different countries, and we still use tanks today, but they're used for pretty much the same purpose and use since. Alright. Let me handle the fun stuff. You just keep talking about the boring stuff. He doesn't actually know that you're over here now, but we'll let him figure it out. Anyways, so, I'm here to talk to you guys about something super cool that I'm sure you'll all recognize. You guys want to toss it over? What do you mean? They're like $1. Oh, we cannot be that... Oh. You can't... Okay then. Editor, buddy. Could you throw up a picture of M&Ms on this conveniently placed whiteboard? Oh, thank you. So, we couldn't actually afford some M&Ms apparently, even though we're renting a place called Tim's $2 Studio. Just shows you how broke we are. M&Ms. So, in 1932, the founder of M&Ms, Forrest Mars, moved to the UK after his dad and him got in so many fights he was just sick of it, and he started selling Mars bars there. And then, it wasn't until the Spanish War when he ran into a bunch of troops eating these little teeny chocolates covered in hard sugar shells, and he got so psyched about this idea. So he runs all the way back to America and finds a guy named Bernie Murray. I have a cheat sheet, sorry. Bernie Murray, the son of a Hershey's executive, and he said, bro, I got this super sweet idea that I just saw over this other place. And this guy was like, bro, that's an awesome idea. Totally accurate rendition of it, just so you know. Anyways, so in 1941, they patent it and start production, and they started at a factory in Newark, New Jersey. Now, they knew candies like sugar and chocolate would be in major demand after the U.S. joined the war. And so, after the U.S. did join World War II, they began selling it exclusively to the U.S. After the war, in 1946, a lot of the soldiers were hooked on these candies because, I mean, who doesn't love a good thing of M&Ms? I mean, they didn't have them back then, but peanut butter M&Ms, so good. Anyways, so they started selling to the general public again, and they made a lot. But yeah, so that's kind of the history of how M&Ms started out. Pretty cool. We should probably get back to Weather Me, more boring me, and before he realizes that you guys are gone. And that is how flamethrowers became to be. Whew, that was a lot of stuff to cover. Okay, now here's something super cool. This is called the Enigma machine. It was made in World War II by Nazis to create codes. It's a super cool thing, but it's a little hard to explain, so I'll do my best. So, I decided this was the best way to show you guys how this works. So right now you can see the man is pushing down the P key and the E is glowing. In this next picture here, you can see that he's pushing down the same key and yet V is glowing this time. So right here you can see the inner mechanisms of the device, and it's quite complex. So you'll have to forgive me right here for the quality of the photo, but this is an important shot. So these three little devices you see right here are 3 out of the 4 scramblers on this. So right here you'll see those taken apart, and this is where I think it gets super cool. So if you look with me here, you'll see, we'll pretend that this slot here is for the W key, and it's connected to this little pin over here, which is the X key. So it goes from the W to the X, and then on that connects to one more, which could be set to the T slot. So once it goes through there, it then hits this part of which is the 4th scrambler. Now this 4th scrambler is quite interesting. So it's almost like an auxiliary cord, and you plug it into different letters. So you can plug R into D, and so now when you get an R out of that 3 configurations thing, it'll go through and it'll change it to a D. Or if you plug Z into W, then it'll go out from Z and into W, and that's what it comes out as the final product. Now, that's the easy scrambling part. It's the unscrambling that is a little confusing. Now, the way you would unscramble it is they would give you a code or a paper with the proper codes on it. And what I mean by codes is the what numbers should be here. So it'll tell you 4, 7, 10 right here, and then on the bottom down here it would tell you, okay, have Z plugged into X, D plugged into E, and it would tell you which things to connect to which. So then you would simply take the gibberish letter that they sent you, and you could type it in here, and it would come out unscrambled and how it's actually supposed to be. Now, because it has the 3 or 4 different scramblers, it makes it up to millions and millions of different possibilities, and that's why we had to end up developing a computer that could go through all of these possibilities, and then it could give you the correct code. So in my opinion, a completely genius device. Unfortunately, something like this wouldn't work very well today because our computers are so fast it could calculate the proper answers within seconds, even if we added a couple of more configurations onto this. Whoa! Did you just jump cut me again? Seriously? Are you kidding? Oh, what? Oh, I'm supposed... Oh, okay. I guess we're gonna wrap up now. Tune in tomorrow to find out what happened to the dinosaurs, and why Christopher Columbus had really bad teeth, and why I'm dressed like a newsie.